doing, Johnny? What's up? How are you doing? Happy Tuesday. Shoot. If they love ball and if they're team guys first. So we're getting, it's awesome meeting with them, getting to start to know them as people before you really dive into the tape. But really looking for the what I call the price of admission if they fit that. So we've had a lot of good guys that we've already talked to, got a lot more meetings scheduled the next couple of days. So it's a really cool process for us. Their decision. We use a lot of tools to evaluate, and you use all the tools at your disposal. So that's what we'll do. I'm not sure. I don't know, Bob. No, I win. Turn on a tape. He's competitive. Um, I think that it's their decision, and everyone's in a little bit different category, and they get advice from different people, and that's their decision to listen who they want to listen to and do what's best for them. That's okay. And but again, we'll use all the tools that we have at our disposal to evaluate and, make sure that we try to get as many right as we can. I like it. I like it. Good blend of speed and size and ball skills. And I thought that they did a good job of getting better and better and better each week. Drew Terrell did an excellent job with those guys, especially working around, as everybody does, some of the injuries. But I like where that room's headed. Huge. That's a tool that we use. You know what I mean? So that's a good question, Howard. Yeah. So, we wanted to get our guys involved, and obviously that's a platform for them to show the world what they can do too, but I know what they can do. So, not for me. It was more to coach the players, get your hands on the players, see if we would want to make them Cardinals. So, that's a tool that we'll use moving forward. Awesome. Yeah, awesome. It'll be good for him. I know he's excited to go through OTAs, training camp, preseason. But man, he's in there every day. But I think that, I think you saw late in the year kind of where we evolved to. And, we'll pick up where we left off and then continue to expand for him what he's comfortable with. And as always, I thought Drew did a good job. Whoever we got in the fold, make sure that we're highlighting their skill sets. And but the game will go through one. One day at a time, Josh. One day at a time, man. So when they get back day one, that's what we'll attack. Yeah, I mean, not just James, but all positions. We'll try to add as many good players as we can, and obviously the construction of the roster, all those things Monty handles. But I know we'll do a good job with acquiring really good football players that are team first guys that want to improve and win. A lot of different ways to do it. I don't have any secret sauces, but I'm not going to give you that answer. You honestly, your daily habits. I call it winning behavior. Can you display winning behavior consistently day after day after day? And we have ways to define that. But and it's not a perfect science, so we know that. But I think we got good enough people in the building that know how to find that information out. Starting with our scouts, our road scouts have done a great job of giving us kind of the background of these guys for the course of, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, even dating back to high school. It's kind of wild. But they've done a really good job with that. And then we'll take all that information and then we'll talk to them and talk to them some more and talk to them some more and then put the card in, Monty. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we kind of hit the ground running, I think, because we see it very similar. But we learned a lot about each other, I think, this last year, and he's really a joy to work with. You know, he keeps the main thing the main thing. He's detailed. Um, he can say in 3 words what other people say in 33 words, and there's no waste of time, and he's to the point, which I appreciate. And but we talk every day, constantly about everything, and those conversations continue. But it's cool to go into year 2 with a little bit of continuity. And hey, remember when you said that? You know what I mean? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But it's cool. It's cool. 100%. Michael's around too. I love when Michael's around too. He likes to see us practice. Yeah, that's important to me. Yeah. Yeah, awesome. I think continuity is a big thing that gets lost in translation at times. With staff dynamics and what we want to improve on and what we want to carry over and what we're studying and what we're improving on individually, collectively, ultimately to help improve the players. But I'm appreciative of that. But that's the business. So you have to deal with it, and you got to be prepared for it. But I'm glad that we got everybody back. Baller. Yeah. Yeah, I was just telling somebody he's like my best friend. Yeah, not surprised. The guy can coach, flat out coach. So he'll have great success in front of him.
When you watch Marvin Harrison Jr., what stands out to you specifically?
Playmaker. Playmaker. Anytime he touches it, he can score points. So that's the name of the game. Score one more point than the other team. So it was. I need to watch some more, but he's a playmaker. Yeah, compete to be a playmaker for us. You know what I mean? I really like that room. With James, Amari, Michael coming back. He did some good things. Came in midway through the year and did some excellent things for us. I mean, had some production, and he's a football team guy first. Loves to practice. Love his attitude. Look forward to him expanding his role.
With the trade starting to enter the conversation of top tight ends, how would you describe this era of tight
Well, I think it depends what system they're in a little bit. Not system, what offense they're in, what they're asked to do. But I just think that the versatility is a word that always kind of hits my brain, either with defenders or people you're defending or who you have, as playmakers, and he can do a lot of things. He's not deficient in any part of his game. Really love what he can do with the ball in his hands, ball skills, obviously. The blocking. He's a complete tight end, and like I told you guys, I don't think that you've seen his ceiling. I think he's going to continue to go like that, and I'm excited to watch it.
JG, you always talk about being a defensive lineman, interior on the interior. That's a game record. Like, how often do those guys come around? Are there a lot of those guys? Can you make those guys, or is that you got to get a rare guy?
Yeah, no, I think every draft's different. I mean, there's some free agency out there that those guys have shown that they can wreck games, as you said it there, and that's a good term. But yeah, that's a premium position for a reason. And when we talk about that, kind of like Josh just asked about tight end, is he a run defender? Is he a pass defender? Those guys that you're talking about can do both at a high level. So that's what you're looking for. And then I also look for, can he align in all kinds of different spots? Because, certain things that you want to do on defense, you want to align them different places. Maybe you think you have an advantage versus one of their guys, but if he doesn't like to go on the left side and you want to attack the right guard, that doesn't really work. So versatility is a word that I use for D linemen as well. Obviously be a stud in the run game and the pass game, but can you move around and play different things? And the game wreckers typically can.
You mentioned being your second year, and obviously they kind of come in. It's like drinking from a fire hose. And now you get the
Who
opportunity.
said that? Drinking from a fire hose? Me? I didn't say that.
No, you didn't say that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But I'm curious. So last year,
Whirlwind is what I would have used.
okay.
Yeah, whirlwind.
Last year the NFLPA survey came out last year on
Uh-huh.
the combine. steps you've taken to address some of those?
Yeah, truthfully, when I got on the job, a lot of those things that were in the works to get adjusted was not Monier and I, that was Michael. So he was adjusting to some of those things, making improvements, doing, hey, I want to do this, 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 and this. Great. You know what I mean? Does it help the players? Yeah, all right, let's do it. So he had a lot of that going on before I even got on the job. And then when I got on the job, Monty and I were like, okay, you know, we could use this, we could use this. Let's set this up a little bit better. It makes it better for the players. Michael says, "Great, do it." So he's been fantastic. I think I don't know how that gets scored. I don't know how that gets distributed. I don't know who takes that. But I think that you'll see that our players were very pleased with how they were served in 2023.
Quarterback, Monty, if you quarterback sheets, give me a thumbnail where your room is and things right now. And does it need some better?
Did you say that or corner? Corner. Looking at good players. Looking at good players, and that comes from a vet, maybe comes from rookies. You know, when you look at free agency, there's certain guys on their second deal, there's certain guys on their first deal, you know, certain guys on their third deal. I've played with a lot of different guys that have played really high, you know, quality snaps for us in different places. You can find good football players anywhere. But like I said, they have to make sure that they fit the price of admission because not everybody does that, and that's okay. And there's an economic piece to it. So you have to balance that as well. So I'm glad Monty does that because I'm not smart enough to do that. But um, I think that room will continue to ascend.
Along those same lines with that position, you played a lot of rookies and very young
Yeah,
players.
love it.
With your background around the position, do you feel like you're better equipped to project what these guys can be after you've seen them play?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, game reps are your biggest one evaluation tool, but it's your biggest tool for the player to improve. It's your biggest area for growth, in my opinion, are game reps. So, not that reps aren't important in training camp and OTAs, but it's a lot different covering a slant on 3rd and 3 in Seattle on, you know, and gotta have it time than OTA 2 when nobody's out there. So, I feel like just with those amount of snaps that are some of our younger guys have played, certain good plays that they made, certain mistakes that they made, I think that that will help them hit their ceiling and ascend quicker. The quicker you can get on the field and bank those reps, the more chance you have to grow as a player. So that was good for those guys. So, you know, reps are gold, man, and you know that there's not a lot of those to go around, and you have to earn them too. But I feel good about where we're going here in 2024.
What's that plan with Hollywood this offseason? Did you want him back? And did you talk to Kyler about having him back?
Yeah, I talked to Kyler about everything. Yeah, absolutely. You know, but again, there's an economic piece to that, so that'll sort out as we get going here.
You guys take immense pride in being an organization that plays a lot of young players, rookies alike. I mean, you guys led the NFL in rookie snaps last year. Is that something that you can consistently, hang your hat on?
Yeah, Johnny. Some coaches don't like to do that. I don't mind that. We put out the guys that we think can win the game, and if they happen to be a rookie or a second-year guy, then so be it. You know. But I think ideally you want a good mix of you know different experience levels and players, things like that. But we know, you know, moving forward, the bulk of the team hopefully comes from last draft, this draft, the next draft. You know what I mean? So you want to, in my opinion, you want to build through the draft and then supplement through free agency. And you know, but to do that, you got to hit on those. You got to make proper decisions, and it's not a perfect science. But yeah, I always was on board with playing young guys because I always thought just what I told Darren. The more they get to play, the quicker they get to play, the quicker you see what they are. And that could be not a threat, but that could be good or bad. Hey, man, like maybe you don't fit here or maybe you do. You know what I mean? But you got to see them to make that evaluation, a fair evaluation. So, you know, I was pleased with the coaches because a lot of coaches fight you on, no, I don't want to play this guy. No, we're going to play these guys and develop them, and let's make sure that he gets better from week 1 to week 2. And that's what our staff did.
JT, you voiced a strong belief in Kyler Murray from the very
Yeah.
beginning. Double, triple down on him as your franchise quarterback. What's the next step for him in life?
Yeah, I mean, just reps, time on task with him. I know he can do it all, but I think just his comfort level of operating at a really high level, which he showed obviously during the year that he can do. But I don't think you've seen his best ball either. And I'm very confident in that because he's a guy that attacks getting better every day. And it's a new system for him. It was new for him, and playing the quarterback position, it's one thing to be a corner playing in a new system. It's another thing to be a quarterback playing in a new system. So I thought he handled it extremely well, and I think sky's the limit for the guy.
Back to the coaching staff for a second. How was his last month and a half been? As he reviewed last season and
Grinder,
the plan of the next year?
grinder, Howard. Ask those guys. They're worn out. They got as much juice as I do. No. Yeah, I thought that, I don't know. I don't want to say haven't been in the business for a long time, but I've been around some really good guys that I felt when I was in their seats, here's how I improved the most. And it was set up in a way by the head coach. So that was something that I was taking notes on, since I was 24 years old. So I think that we set up a good plan in January and February, and now we're kind of getting into March here, and they did a good job of attacking what I asked. And like I said, ultimately, you're just trying to get better for when the players get in here in April. So, and that's individually and collectively. And I told a lot of guys, I said I felt like I made a jump after my first year being a position coach to my second year. Experience does help. You see mistakes that you make and you grow from that. And here's why I made that mistake. You kind of reflect 24 hours, just like a game. You reflect on a game for 24 hours, you learn from it and move on. And I think that our guys have done that. So hopefully I set it up in a way. We'll see. We'll see come April, if the players are like, what are you guys talking about? Or, oh, that makes a lot more sense than last year. Buddha will say, I told you I was right. But yeah, they did a good job with it.
Speaking of food, have you ever needed to address his contract
That's kind of Monty will handle that. But obviously, I know the value that he brings to this organization and the team. And I want to see three out there.
Shane, I'm curious, like, I've covered him for a year now. He's very unique, I guess, but what makes him your best friend?
Indy Star. Do you cover for
No,
the
the
Indy Star?
athletic.
The Athletic. I would say my best friend in Philly. We were kind of in cahoots together when the head coach was grinding us both out. Um, yeah, he's all ball. You know what I mean? So he's all ball. So I always appreciated that. That you can't walk into his office and talk about where'd you go for coffee without him talking about, hey, on 3rd and 8, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So I felt like I learned a lot from Shane. And just picking his brain about certain things, how he likes to install all kinds of stuff. But he's all ball. He's always on. Very detail oriented, and I like that he sees the game from the quarterback perspective. And that helped me as a defensive guy kind of learn, okay, we say we want to affect the quarterback. What we're doing doesn't even affect the quarterback. Shane just told me. So I would take what I learned from Shane and apply it as much as I could. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've told you guys, 4 games isn't winning enough. You know what I mean? But I do think that we have a good plan in place to improve our players and get better. And I think what it speaks to is the kind of the culture in the locker room. The people in the locker room. Culture, guys, is people and how you behave. That's it. It's not some fancy word. It's like, hey, like who do you have and how do we behave on a daily basis, right? So it's my job to hold them to that. Say, hey, this is what we want, and then let's make sure we do it. And when it's right, we point that out, and when it's not right, we point that out. And then ultimately, the locker room took that over this year. So, we got good guys in a locker room. That's why Monty and I are so convicted. Anyone that we put in this locker room, they got to fit that. You know what I mean? It's not for everybody. And like I said, that's okay. It's what we value as an organization, that piece to player acquisition. Um, I just feel like that's if you have enough of those guys, you'll win. You got to delegate a little bit. You know, you try to do it all. It just didn't work for me trying to do it all. You know, not smart enough. I don't have, as people would say, as some of my coaches would say, the competitive stamina to do all that. You got to delegate. You got to listen to people. You got to trust people. Take the information and make a decision and go. And once you make the decision, uh, check out the result. If it's the result you want, cool, evaluate it. If it's not the result you want, cool, evaluate it and learn from it.
Bob, we'll make this the last. Do you have a couple or three favorite players? Well, just the jobs that I had as coach are on their way to the challenger table.
Yeah, anyone that we draft. That's my answer to that one. Got him. All right, you guys. Thank you.